would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us during our weekly hybrid MLS breakfast meetings. My name is Tomas Wong from Overlook Banker George Realty, and I am your September program chair. Thank you, thank you. So please stand for the pledge of allegiance, and I'm going to call.
Good morning, everybody. Please come in.
Thank you. For the Queen? Yes. Okay, go ahead. Okay. So, thank you. Okay, I'm going to call Jeffrey. He will lead us in the inspirational quote.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
For the today's inspirational quote, hello September. What does September mean? S. Some people think that doing E equals a good look, but P, pretty face is just the surface. D, the real beauty lies in everyone. Kindness and smiles, and in our hearts. And when you believe in yourself and know you're enough, the light you are radiate will touch everyone around.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, again. I hope everyone had a very relaxing Labor Day weekend. I know it was very hot, but Mother Nature decided today to have a little bit of rain, so good for everyone. You just watch your car. Good for you, David. Okay, let's move on. A few housekeeping tips. All participants will be muted upon entry to the MLS breakfast meeting. And should you have a question or a comment, please remember to enter it into the chat box. Please remember to join us weekly, as we will have our hybrid MLS breakfast meetings every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online on our YouTube channel at West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Please remember to follow WSGBR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our pre-recorded videos on YouTube and join our text message group for updates, and text WSGBR to the number 888-304-4055. For a quick tip, contesting a citation. If a violator wishes to contest a citation, the violator may, within 20 calendar days of receipt of the citation, request a review. Failure to request a review in writing within 20 calendar days of receipt of the citation, according to these procedures, will result in the opportunity for a review being waived. The amount of the fine is set by the CRMLS Board of Directors, and as a result, CRMLS staff doesn't have the authority to waive or reduce any fine. The violators of AOR and DOR shall process all aspects of the citation review once presented with the citation review from CRMLS. If you wish for more information, visit gocrmls.org at CRMLS citation policy. Okay, today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight, Joseph Nguyen, from pillar to post home inspectors, followed by our guest speaker, attorney Christina Lewis, from Law Office of Christina Lewis. Just a reminder that to be eligible for today's drawing, you must be a WSGBI member. We will be having an attendance drawing, Amazon gift cards drawing, and the 50-50 raffle. So today, our affiliate spotlight will be brought to you by the affiliate committee, Chair Brandon Saransky, and the Vice Chair Joseph Nguyen. Please remember to support our affiliates with your transaction. So take it away, Joseph.
Thank you, Tomas.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Joseph with Pillar Post Home Inspectors, and I'm gonna do the spotlight for you guys today. Right. So again, my name is Joseph, and just a quick quote by William Arthur Ward: "A house is made of wood and stone, but only love can make it a home." And with Pillar to Post, our franchise is veteran owned and operated. The gentleman on the left there, Spencer Velez, he owns the franchise, and I work with him. He's not only my boss, my very close friend, also my mentor in the Marine Corps. When I first joined the Marine Corps, I was just this lowly private first class. He was sergeant, and I was like, one day I want to be that guy. He didn't even see me until I started moving up the ranks. He's like, yeah, like. With Pillar to Post, when you work with us, you'll have confident home ownership. We print and review the report on site, and because of this weird COVID deal, we still email you the report on site as well. We do have offer 3 inspection packages just to meet your client's needs and budget, as well as additional services. There's quite a bit. I'm going to list them here. If you have any questions, just find me in the end. And it's easy booking process. Just give me a call, and I'll book you guys as soon as possible. Some other bonuses that we do offer with Pillar to Post every inspection package, you will receive a Pillar to Post 360-degree visual inspection. So what this is kind of like Matterport, but it goes in tandem with my inspection report. So you'll see the report, see where the issues are in the home, and you can view it from your cell phone, laptop, computer, or just share it with your friends and family. Like, hey, check out my new house. And then with the higher packages, the premium prestige, you will also receive measured floor plans with your inspection reports as well. It's great for determining furniture fitment, placement, and just the dimensions. Excuse me. Sharing with contractors for estimating. And we also offer PTP estimates powered by punch lists. This will give you any recommendation for repairs, just like an estimate for those repairs as well. The PTP home manual. It's powered by Centric. So this is a safety recall check on all your appliances with premium prestige packages. It's pretty much all your appliances, where it's a washer, water heater, laptop, computer, cell phone, anything with a serial number, just take a picture, upload that. It's good for a whole year. That's on us. And after that, if you guys really like their services, it's just a subscription, like of, I believe $60, but that may have changed. So yeah, next slide, please. And enough about business. When I'm not doing inspections and going out and meeting all sorts of folks, I like to wind down, hang out with my wife, my friends, and just enjoy a little bit of board games here and there. We play a lot. I think my collection has grown to about 200 games, and my wife is like, you need to get rid of some if you want more. Yeah. And so if you guys have played the game of life, I was this lonely little blue peg, found my little pink peg, and we got married. We do go out a lot. We like to travel. And then next slide, please. After that, we had ourselves a little pink peg. She just turned 1, 13 months on the 4th. Super proud of her. She is crazy, awesome. She's my little monster, my little munchkin, everything. And then if you guys see that little pink one on the left, that's my baby sister. The resemblance is uncanny. So I thought it was cute, so I just threw it up there. But yeah, those 3 on the right, that's her. Yes, my little baby sister, she is 15, junior in high school right now. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And next slide, please. And I definitely look forward to being a part of your family and your home buying process as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Okay, now we will have our affiliate introduction for today. All affiliates present today, please line up at the front. And as a friendly reminder, please no promotion. This is a morning greeting only. We're gonna start with the virtual one?
Yes, virtual first, please.
Okay, John, are you there?
Yes, good morning, everyone. John Wax with Snap NHD for all your NHD tax and environmental needs. Stay cool out there. It's humid and you want to stay hydrated. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and my information will be in the chat.
Unita.
Good morning, everyone. Unita Wu from Home Warranty of America, your 13 months home warranty. Stay cool. If you have any AC claim, reach out to me directly. I'm here to help anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy
Good
Cho.
morning. This is Judy, Senior Loan Officer from AA Capital. I speak Chinese and English and have a great Moon Festival this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. That's all we have?
Yes.
Okay. David, go for it.
All right, good morning, David Tran with Home Car Home Warranty. I know you think I'm mumbling, but I'm not. Have a good day, take care. Buy some ticket.
Good morning, everyone. Angie Tang, First American Title. Enjoy the Autumn Festival. Thanks.
Morning, everybody. Oriana Chan with Prime Lending. Good morning, Nancy Chan, Lawyer Settle. Have a wonderful week.
Good morning, Chase Kerr with Northwest Property. Morning, everybody. My name is Joseph with Pillar Post Home Inspectors.
Good morning, Alina Chu from Glen Oaks Escrow. Have a fabulous day.
Good morning. Your good neighbor State Farm agent in the city of Walnut.
Good morning. This is the first time I hear David mumbling. I'm sorry. How are you? Good morning. This is Mario, Rate One Financial, your reverse mortgage king.
I'm Cosmo Sanchez with New Ink Funding. Thank you.
Hi, Lucia Tam, representing CAREPA, Chinese American Real Estate Professional Association. And today it rained. Rain.
Yeah.
Keep cool.
Chris Hahn with Jam Mortgage. Yeah, stay cool. It's been super hot. I think we got a couple more days of this, but nice to have this rain. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we are happy to include our open teaching to our hybrid MLS breakfast meeting. A reminder, if you would like to pick your listing, you must go to the wsgbr.com website and click on Open Pitch, fill out the caravan request form and submit it no later than Tuesday midnight of the week. Tuesday midnight of the week, and you want to pitch. So today we have 2 virtual listing presentation and 2 live. And the first one is going to be from Melissa Chen of Overlook Dynasty. Take it. Oh, go ahead, take it away, Melissa.
Thank you. So this listing, I just listed on the market last week, and then for 4-bedroom, 3.5 baths, fully renovated actually back to 2018. The owner occupied for 3-4 years, and now they move out. The property is full of smart systems and top renovation, which is very, very modern in San Marino. So you can look at the picture. And actually, it's very pretty. The backyard has new swimming pool, spa, and then also inside use very high-end appliance and all the decoration and appliance, everything. So the lot size is 9,400. I suggest you go there if you want to show. Book with me around 6 to 7 o'clock so we can see twilight. Because all the property has all different LED and entertainment, all the system, everything is better to look at both sides, daytime and twilight. This property only allow for private showing, so I don't have any more open house. Last week, I already did several times. There are agents, brokers there. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, the second one is Mira Gonzaga. She,
She's here.
I guess I'm calling the live one first. I thought I was calling the virtual one. So
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's my first time here. It's nice to see you all.
welcome.
Yeah, please come to my caravan. It's on Supra. It's Go Direct. Very nice floor plan. High ceiling in the living room. Yeah, hope to see you there, but it's on Supra. Thank you.
Do you say the price already? The price is
704.
Thank you. Belen, do we have two more?
Yes, if they can come up.
Are you guys here? Can you guys come up front to do the pitching?
That lady can come up. You
Do
can
I
come up.
to pitch your listing? It's a price reduction, okay. Please go up front and give us some information like the update.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ellen Chu from Harvest Realty. I have a lease, actually like 1 month already. Nice house, I don't know why, but the people gave to me all the bad credit score. The 600, 620, did not accept it. The owner just lost 30,000 last year. I helped him lease 2 years ago. The first year very nice, the second year they just stopped. So they out this year, only the total remodel, and the house actually built 2006. So now like a jacuzzi, the waterproof floor, whatever, very nice one. The first one, the ADU, Bone Park, close to 10 and 605. So the price from 4,500 now to 3,200. So if somebody interested, let me know. Thank you. Bone Park, 1,985. Actually, it's big, not small. I'm not small. There's the 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with den with loft, 2 garage, attached garage. Actually, very nice house, but the credit is so bad, Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on. This one, the other one left.
It's only one, okay, let's move on. Okay, now today's speaker is Christina Lewis. She's an attorney at law, and we're very privileged and honored to have her as a guest speaker. So Christina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please take it away.
Thank you for having me. I am Christina Lewis. I have my offices here in Torrance. However, due to COVID, it's allowed me the opportunity to service clients all the way from up in Northern California to down in San Diego. So before COVID, as estate planning attorneys, we were very kind of landlocked and geographically restrained. But thanks to COVID, it's allowed us kind of a new way to practice and service clients all over California. My practice is business law on the corporate transactional side, as well as the estate planning side. Came out of a large law firm, began my career there, fellow Bruin, UCLA grad, Loyola Law. But I've been practicing estate planning probably for I've been practicing since 2004, licensed since 2004, and been actively practicing law, again, starting off with business law and then transitioned to estate planning about 8 years ago. Today, thank you for inviting me. I was asked, do we have the slides up for the actual presentation? Great, thank you. So, I was asked to actually talk on 2 different topics. The first one was properties titled in the Revocable Trust, and you guys wrote, is always asked to switch to personal names in refinance or loan. And the question was whether this can be avoided. And I want to just say that that word always is not the case. So we'll discuss definitely how there are ways to avoid it, and asking, as attorneys, we always say depends, right? That's the answer. And then the second topic we're going to talk about is going to be when someone passes away, what should you as realtors remember to do or should know about in order to service the client the best way in this trust and estate administration or either probate? So those are the 2 topics we'll be talking about today. And again, thank you for inviting me. We're going to touch upon each topic for about 15 minutes, more or less on each topic. And then I believe we said we put about 10 minutes aside for Q&A. Am I correct?
That's correct, Lucy.
Thank you. So if you can move to the belling, if you can move to the next slide for me on the first topic.
Okay, we're there.
Great. So, you guys had written to me saying, hey, properties titled in the Revocable Trust is always asked to switch to personal names in refinance or loan. And whether this can actually be avoided, that was something that you had wanted me to talk about. And the answer is, as you can see, depends. One of the things that you have to understand first and foremost is when the property is in the trust, we've got to know what kind of trust it is, whether it's revocable or irrevocable. The reason why most people who in California buy a property in trust or put it into the trust is in California, there is California probate. So if anybody dies without the house in the trust, majority of the time they are likely subject to probate. And for California, the probate threshold is 188 to 184, 250 right now. Last year was about 166, 500, and it's gone up. So every 3 years, that probate amount will go up a little bit. And this year, as of April 1st, that went to the 184, 250. So one of the things that's really interesting is if you own any assets over that amount, you're going to be subject to probate unless it's in a trust. That's the general rule. Well, I would say majority of real property in California is going to be over that amount. And there's a lot of unfortunate situations that occur when that isn't being put into a trust. So that's revocable trust. Now, the difference between revocable and irrevocable is that revocable, while you're alive, the grantor is allowed to change, amend it, revoke it. All of those can happen when they're alive. And an irrevocable trust is basically something that you can imagine what it literally means, that it is not amendable, it is not changed, can't be changed. And funny enough, people don't understand this, which is the concept of a revocable trust will become irrevocable upon the death of a grantor. And we're in this case, most likely right now, let's just say hypothetically discussing where there's one grantor and not necessarily a couple. If it is a couple and they're doing a joint revocable trust, what happens is part of that trust, the revocable trust, becomes irrevocable and the survivor share becomes revocable still as long as the surviving spouse is alive. And that being said, what happens is you've got clients who, once they put it into a trust, there is this misconception that, hey, can I refinance it later on? And the answer is absolutely yes. There is no reason why you put into a trust, it cannot be refinanced. And even irrevocable trusts, believe it or not, can be refinanced. Now, major banks, however, will normally not touch. It's very difficult for them to agree to do an irrevocable trust, a property that's locked in an irrevocable trust, because you cannot take the asset in and out and change the trustee on it. And that's mainly the reason why. That's not to say that it can't be done. What happens is there are specific lenders that give to the irrevocable, that work with irrevocable trusts. It's also meaning that you probably are also paying a little bit more of a premium for that loan. Now, when it's a revocable trust, you're going to have the reason why banks want you to take it out of the trust first. I'm sure you guys have all been through this with clients, is because they cannot legally loan to a trust a lot of times. And it's more on the collection side. Now, part of it is whether the key is reading the actual trust that it's under. And if your trust basically allows the trustee to take a mortgage on the property, then at that point, yes, you can do that loan in the name of the trust. But most of the time, the banks don't like that because really, ultimately, who do they collect against? The trust itself, it normally has no assets and they can't go over after them personally. So often you have the bank asking, hey, we want to lend to the individual first. And then you can put into a trust, or if it wasn't a trust, what they do is they make you take it out, lend to the individual, and then this is the key. I've had so many clients do this, and it's unfortunate. They forget because it is not the bank's, it's not the bank's policy, nor is it their requirement. They don't have to do it for you, which is put it back into your trust. So a lot of times I've got clients who do this refinance loan, take it out of the trust. It is in their name now, and they forget to put it back into the trust. And then as we discuss, what happens? They pass away, house is not in the trust, it's going to be potentially subject to probate. There is something called a Hagstack petition, but we're not going to go into that today because of limited time. And that's the thing. You don't want it to ever be in a situation where you have done all this work to set up this trust and forget to utilize it later on to avoid probate. A lot of times too, by the way, when you have the house that's say not even established in a trust, and then you have a loan on the house, a client will come to me and saying, I need clearly a trust now that I have a house, I have this loan, what do I need to do? So for one thing, actually, no, most people don't realize this is when you encumber the property or when you change title on the property, you have to notify the mortgage company. On a revocable trust, as long as you put into a revocable trust, they cannot call that loan and accelerate that loan for you to pay it out because it is protected by something called the Garn-St. Germain Act, which prevents banks from closing out on borrowers who decide to put their homes into revocable trusts because they know that they need to do it for the California probate purposes as one of the reasons. Again, the key is, when I had said earlier, it is before they can even loan, they have to look at the trust. So a lot of times the whole process involves banks asking your clients or the homeowner for that copy of the trust. And if the trust allows you to encumber the property, then it could be, again, lent in the name of the trust. There are a lot of times, another way to do it is the bank will say, fine, you don't want to take it out of the trust, then we need a personal guarantee. And they make the actual person sign the promissory note and also issue a personal guarantee, keeping it still within the trust. So there's your answer on how to avoid it. No, you don't have to take it out of the trust, and it does not have to be in your personal name. However, logistically, realistically, this is the issue. Banks know they hold the upper hand, and they a lot of times will not do it. I've had banks that will do it. And again, too, same thing. It depends on each bank. Certain banks have no problems as long as they get a copy of the trust and they understand what it entails. And they will go directly from literally the new loan in the name of the trust. There are, however, the majority of the banks, I can't name names, but the bigger mortgage lenders, they will not do it. They just do not like to do it. They feel it's a practice that basically puts them in a little bit of a higher liability, and it makes it a little difficult to foreclose, obviously, on a trust versus an individual person. So, I mean, Belinda, do you think at this point, instead of moving on, maybe have a few people ask some questions just in case, so we kind of keep things fresh?
Well, I have one from Judy. Yes. Okay, the question is, if the owner takes out a trust and refinance in personal name, then put back into a trust, what are, if any consequences?
Okay, so if the owner takes it out of the revocable trust and put it into puts it back into trust, that does not trigger any reassessment or anything. So on your Precor form, I'm pretty sure you are all familiar with the Precor preliminary change of ownership report. There is a box that literally says what you're doing. And there are certain exemptions that allow you to basically put your property into and transfer without any property tax reassessment. So I think, Judy, if hopefully that might have been your concern, was the property reassessment possibility, property tax reassessment possibility, because it's known as a change of ownership. So you are technically changing ownership from, yes, you personally, to your trust, who is now the owner of the property, but that does not trigger the property reassessment because it is one of the exemptions. Again, it has to be to a revocable trust. Yes, a change of ownership must be filled out when you transfer into a trust and also out, because you're literally right there recording. You have to remember, you're recording a document with the county recorders. So it's very important when you do these things that the preliminary change of ownership report is filed with it.
Okay, do you want to take another question from the live audience? How about Manzanilla?
If both of the parents pass away.
Can you read? We have a microphone.
Yes.
If both of the parents pass away, it's in a living trust,
Now it goes to the son. And the son is gonna live in the property or sell it. Will that cost a reassessment in property taxes? Or how would that work?
So we're kind of
You know-
moving a little bit away from the question, the main question of whether a revocable trust can be, issued as a personal finance loan, but I'd be more than glad to answer that question. After February 14th, after February 15th, 2021 of last year, I'm sure everybody heard of this Prop 19. So one of the exemptions that is allowed before even that date was the transfer between parent and child. And if it was the primary resident, there was an unlimited exemption before February 15, 2021. And there were no other restrictions. They just had to transfer from parent to child. Now there's also grandparent to grandchild, but that's different, a little bit different. You have to have the middle generation, that parent being dead, in order to be able to qualify for that exemption. If a parent transfers to the child after February 15, 2021, these days, Prop 19 is now instituted. And basically, you've got a couple of hoops you need to jump through in order to qualify for that exemption from being reassessed on your property taxes. First is it has to be their primary residence. Second is that child has to move into the home and make it their primary residence. So unless any of those two if you don't have any of those two, you don't qualify for that parent-child exemption. And also the exemption too is capped now at up to 1 million market value. And then after that 1 million, it gets reassessed on primary residence. Again, before February 15, 2021, you didn't have that cap. It was an unlimited amount as long as the parent's primary resident. So I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you. How much does the revocable or irrevocable trust protect, if it does, from the IRS?
So the revocable trust's main purpose, one of its main purpose, is actually to protect mainly probate. And that's the thing. The thing about the trust being protecting from your IRS, we're talking generally the estate tax limit. Right now, the estate tax limit for each individual is 12.06 million. Most people don't have 12.06 million in assets to worry about. So it's only after 12.06 million for this year, 2022. If you die this year, if you have assets over 12.06 million, that's when you actually get hit with estate taxes over that. So you're going to be taxed 40% over that amount. Now, be aware that in 2026, we're going to be that high estate tax exemption amount will continue to grow up to 2026, where it will sunset. And it was supposed to sunset down to about 5 million with inflation adjusted. And what that means is in 2026, unless we have anybody else in office that may be pro-wealthy or keeping that exemption high, it'll go down to 5 million inflation adjusted. Last year was closer to 6.5 million. Just recently this year, I heard somebody say that because of this ridiculous inflation that's happening, we're looking at closer to about 8 million in 2026 with inflation adjusted on that estate tax exemption. Your revocable trust, generally speaking, unless you hit those amounts, there's different types of estate planning strategies. The revocable trust itself is going to only do the minimal amount to protect you in probate and also maximize. However, when it's a joint trust, the sort of total amount you're able to basically be exempt for federal tax estate exemptions.
Okay, thank you, Christina. Do you want to take another question or do you want to move on?
I'll take one more and then I can move on.
Okay, one more. Let's be fair.
Lorraine?
This is from Mandy. She's asking she's asking the resource where to locate a list of employing and trust executor for the trust versus designating a family member.
Oh, so I tell people the trust, I think she's trying to ask, I believe she's trying to ask, like, how would you find out who the successor trustee is? And correct me if
No,
I'm wrong
no,
on
no,
that.
I think she's asking whether we can from the outside, I mean, typically we name the family member, we designate family member in the trust. She's asking if we can have, if you can find it from the outside.
Oh, absolutely. You can have a professional fiduciary to be your successor trustee or even a third-party trustee. You do not have to use, there's no requirement by law that requires you to use a family member. And frankly, there are times if you have a very not so copacetic family where there may be issues that arise, I actually recommend clients to pick an independent professional fiduciary to be the trustee, because it kind of really takes that family member that would have been the successor trustee out of the equation, because a lot of times they are also a beneficiary. So it's almost an inherent conflict of interest that exists if you end up having a family member become that trustee. That being said, not everybody can afford to have professional fiduciary. So it depends on each state and situation when you're doing the planning for the client.
Okay. Let's move on, Christina. We still have
Yeah.
another five minutes.
So, Belen, if you can move on to the second topic.
Yes, I moved on.
You know, when someone passes, what should realtors remember to do, or what should they, know to service the trust and administration process? This alone could have probably been close to an hour. So, but I'm going to try to generally touch upon a few things, and give you the basics. And of course, at the end, you'll have my contact information. So if you need more information, please feel free to reach out to our office. The first thing is whether you're dealing with a trust administration or probate. And how do you know that? Probate automatically means the asset is not inside the trust. So if you have an existing trust and say the property you're trying to hopefully, be able to list is inside the trust, then you're officially in a trust administration. And we're talking, when we say trust administration, I think a lot of people think about, when someone passes. And in this case, we are talking about that. But it's not always a guarantee that your trust administration is done when someone passes. You can do an active trust administration when, say, the trustee or the grantors themselves, the beneficiaries, are incapacitated. That's an actual trust administration as well. Somebody stepping in, taking over for the benefit of the beneficiaries. When it's probate, this is the key, realtors, please pay attention, because I've had this happen. When it is probate, you cannot do anything with the house until a probate is open and there is what's known as letters of administration issued, giving either the executor, if there's a will, or if they've died without a will, which is known as intestate, naming them as the administrator of the estate. So what does that mean for you realtors? That means when you are trying to get them as a client, you have to ask them, has probate been started, and do you have the letters of administration? Because that second bullet point, authority to control and transfer the asset. If they do not have the letters of administration, they cannot sign the contract on behalf of the estate to sell this asset. I can't tell you how many times that I've had realtors who don't have, you can also have, as realtors, I understand that you can also get a special certification learning about the probate process and becoming literally what's known as a probate realtor. Because there are so many other steps that's outside of a regular real estate sale transaction when it is a probate sale, I highly recommend, if you are not somebody who specializes in probate, to work with a realtor that specializes in probate, or to partner with that person, or make sure that the attorney who is on it knows what they're doing. The last thing you want is to have the sale of the house held up because all your T's weren't crossed and your I's were dotted. And what I mean by that is you didn't get court permission to sell that property. And that's the biggest key is with the probate. Again, you cannot make somebody, they can sign it, but it ends up being invalid because they had no legal authority to begin with to sign that contract, to do anything with that asset, unless letters of administration have been issued, making that person and giving that person authority to do so. So I've had a lot of situations where, like, as I said, realtors don't know that. They want to try to get the contract signed in order to list the house. And I've had to actually tell the realtor, guess what? This is invalid. I am probably at that point not their favorite person. Because I tell them, you have to wait until, if it's a probate, you have to wait until letters of administration is issued, designating who is going to be the administrator for the estate. And I know I get a lot of times, oh, but the child's living in the house and they're still paying the mortgage. Doesn't matter. So you're going to have, if there are a child with other siblings, that is even more dangerous, because you've got other beneficiaries as part of that estate that absolutely have a right to know what's going on with the asset. So that's in the name of probate. For the trust administration, you actually have another process that you have to deal with, depending upon if this is the first or second spouse. So let's just say hypothetically, this is the second spouse to die. So you have a joint trust. First spouse has died. Now you have the second spouse that just died. The person who's going to be responsible, you have to look in the trust, is designated as the successor trustee. They are the only ones, again, that have the power at this point to enter into the contract, because they are the ones controlling this asset. So you have to look at who your successor trustee is in the trust to allow them to sign that contract with you if they want to sell this property. In addition to, sometimes they can't sell a property. I highly recommend, it's not a bad idea to kind of get to know your local, estate planning attorney who can quickly glance at the trust before you make a client sign their. Once you find out the property is in a trust, have an attorney look at that client's trust for you really quickly before you lock them in that contract. Because what happens is sometimes you realize too late. Guess what? They can't sell a property because there might be a life estate that's tied to it, or some other thing that's encumbering it. So you don't want to enter into this whole process to find out that you can't even enter it to begin with. And then the last thing I always tell people too is, as realtors, of course, I know you want that sale. I know you want to be able to have that listing, but sometimes it is more worth it to take a step back, because you have to understand the family is grieving. They are not looking to sell the asset. They may need to, because of maybe, say, the increase in property taxes later on. But for the moment, I always tell people what your best bet in terms of maybe quote unquote closing the deal is to understand and be sensitive to the client's situation. They just lost a family member. And being aware of that a lot of times goes much more further than saying that you want to be their agent. So I think, again, that's pretty much, I can go into a much more detail, but then it's just a whole can of worms. And, I'd be more than glad to come back to talk about specifically this topic, but that's the general gist of it. Is your key when, as realtors, the first thing you have to do, most importantly here, is finding out the person that you're talking to, whether they have the authority to enter into a contract with you. And that's either as successor trustee, you have to look to the trust, or in probate, again, they have to be issued letters of administration where they're either designated now officially as the executor or the administrator of the estate. So,
thank you, Christina. You want to allow a couple more questions?
Absolutely.
Christina? Okay, how about from the audience? Lorraine has a question. Is the irrevocable trust a separate entity? That's the question.
So what happens is, as I said, I can give a whole hour really quickly. The process basically is, once the trust becomes irrevocable at the second spouse's death, a separate EIN is issued. So that becomes, it does in a way becomes, when you say entity, it's not technically a corporate entity, but it is in of itself, because you can't use a dead person's social security number. It does have its own EIN.
Okay, and then we have another one from Arthur. He says, how often do we have to update our living trust?
So technically, you're supposed to kind of keep in touch with your estate planner every, 3 to 5 years. Realistically, I've got to tell you, I find that people maybe revise their trust, 2 to 3 times their entire life once they actually, create it. And the main reason is that you're going to want to visit your estate planning attorney is either change in law or change in your family situation. So maybe you suddenly had children, or maybe suddenly your children have children, you've got grandchildren you want to think about. Most people, when they think about changing the trust, it will cost you to change and amend the trust, but most people don't do it. I do have to caveat, I do have the occasional clients that are constantly taking someone in, putting someone out, taking someone in, putting someone out as beneficiaries because they're fighting with their child. But normally, for the most part, everybody probably does change their trust 2 to 3 times their entire life, and not every 5 years. That's recommended. That's recommended for the changing of the trust, or at least review. One of the other things you have to consider, I love telling the story because I do give clients a heads up that says you do need to amend it at least once in your lifetime, because again, change in life circumstances or changes in law. And then the client kind of goes, oh, maybe I just want to do it today. Maybe I should just wait until that change happens. And I kind of look at them and I say, you know what? How about this? I'll draft these documents for you, and then we'll make sure that we sign them the day before you die. And they realize how ridiculous that sounds, right? Because we just don't know when we're going to die. And so we can't chance that not having to do this process because of, again, fear of probate, or if you are a taxable estate, you want to make sure that that gets taken care of and that your estate minimizes any estate tax liability at your death. Someone had put in, I noticed a friend's mother has a rental property in a living trust, but passed away. Mortgage $181,000. The son and sister are beneficiaries. They are planning to change the house themselves. They can either sell or rent the property. Must they contact a mortgage company about the title transfer? And the answer is technically yes. Realistically, a lot of times people forget. So even when they transfer from an individual, as I said before, to a revocable trust, you're supposed to notify your mortgage company, and it's protected by the Garn-St. Germain Act for a revocable trust if you do that transfer. Now, in terms of changing the title to these children as beneficiaries, they're now holding it, mind you, individually as individuals and not in their trust. So suddenly you have to think of it this way. When that asset hits these children, they're now subject to probate. So that's something to be considered when that happens. And if you are their real estate agent, one of the things you might want to make them aware of is California probate. Anytime you sell a house to somebody, you really should let them know and ask generally, oh, will you be putting this house in a trust? And people might be like, why should I? And you now know your answer. California probate. You do not want your house or any of your assets really to be tied up by the courts. The courts right now these days, when during COVID, it was really ridiculously long, but where it took almost 3 months to get a hearing date. And that just to start the process. The process itself can last anywhere from, a year to 18 months. That's not to say trust administration can't last as long, but usually it's a lot faster because there is no court involvement whatsoever.
Okay, one more question, Christina, and then we gotta move on. This is a question from Ling Chao. Ling, the microphone over here. So I don't have to repeat.
Thank you. I walked in and you seem like you know a lot about trust, and I really appreciate you here today. I have a question. On a trust, both people on the trust has passed, and after they review the trust, they realize some of the property are not in the trust. So how do you take care of something like that when the property, some of the property are just not, whatever happened in the past happened, it wasn't put into the trust?
So without knowing further facts, and actually that comes from looking at their will as well as their trust itself.
No will.
Well, usually if they have a trust, there's what's known as a pour over will. Because the pour over will's intention is to say, hey, whatever I left out of the trust, I meant to it's supposed to pour over into the trust. And so again, depending upon the situation, you're either going to do a head stack petition, which is basically telling the court, hey, court, stay out of it. We got this. It was meant to be in the trust. However, if there isn't that sort of intention or language that's there, you will have to probate that asset.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Christina. On behalf round of applause. On behalf of the Western Gary Valley Association of Realtors, we want to thank you for this very informative presentation, and we do appreciate your time very much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. And if you have any questions, you have my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me via email or a call to our office.
Thank you, Christina. Let's move on. Now it is time for our WSGBR drawings. So the attendance drawing today is $850. If we don't have a winner, we'll move up to $875. So let's move on.
Yeah, give us a minute.
Check out. You see here? Okay, $875. You just missed $850. Okay, you guys noticed our product got upgraded. So beginning this month, we will be serving bagels, yogurt, gourmet donuts, and pastries. We will also be giving away a prize each week for those attending in person. So now it is time for one lucky member present to win a prize. So pick up a number and win a prize. Let me welcome Nanette. Nanette, are you here?
I don't think she's here.
So she's not here today. So
no.
it's going to be Phil. And you draw a lucky winner.
Ring. Okay, pick a number from 1 to 12. Number 9 has already been chosen.
The smallest doesn't mean it's the lowest, right?
Oh, no, she got a Zunker.
It's a friendship act. She has a candle to help her light the way, a penny for luck on a rainy day, a Band-Aid to help mend a heart, a rubber band so we never part, an eraser because mistakes are okay, a lifesaver to help save the day, a candy kiss for daily TLC, and remember always, you are special to all your WSGBR friends.
Congratulations.
That's called a zonker, by the way. Oh.
Okay, let's move on. Amazon gift cards. We're gonna pick 3 winners. Phil, you want to help me? And I'll read it. Those are worth $25 each. Amazon gift card. Hortensia Ramirez.
Oh, she's always winning. Dang.
Tia Cook. Tia. Vince Venetiano. Very winning. Congratulations.
Can you repeat the names of the winners, please?
The winners are Vince Venetiano,
Uh-huh.
Hortensia Ramirez, and Tia Cook. Did I pronounce it right, Tia?
K-A what? Okay.
Tia Cook, K-H-U.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move on with the educational classes. We're going to have the SIP form class hybrid training on September the 12th on a Monday from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. The cost is free. Next one is a commercial seminar. The topic is going to be common mistakes in the insurance buying process. It's going to be on Tuesday, September the 13th, 12 noon to 1 p.m. and it's also free. The third one is Meet and Learn, attract more buyers with low interest rate and less down payment. Tuesday, September the 20th, from 11 to 12. And the last one, but not least, CRMLS virtual training, the Realtor Property Resources on Wednesday, September 21st, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. No call. Okay, join the committee, get involved, make new friends, and make a difference. Check your email for the committee membership form. So I encourage you to participate more. I know we all have busy schedule, but it's just you doing it from your heart. So if you're welcome to volunteer in any committee. Okay, next, we are having a party. Join us for our 100th birthday party on Friday. It's going to be September the 16th from 5 to 9 p.m. There will be food, drinks, games, karaoke, dancing, and you must RSVP.
Tomorrow is the last day to RSVP.
Tomorrow is the last.
The 9th.
September the 9th. So don't miss the opportunity. Next, we're going to have the local candidates forum. It has been rescheduled to Wednesday, September the 28th. And then join us for a chance to meet the November 2022 City Council candidate from the city of Alhambra, Monterey Park, and the San Gabriel. There will be food and drinks, and the deadline to register is Monday, September the 26th.
28. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
September 26th.
Got it. Sorry.
The event is on September 28th.
Correct. Sorry.
Save the date. Our installation launch will be on December the 2nd, and the tickets are available on sale. There will be sponsorship opportunities available. Please call or email Belen Barrios for sponsorship information. And our president, our next president will be Lee Chow. 50-50 raffle. It is time for the raffle. And the lucky one is the last four numbers, 7930. 7930. And I just missed the number by 5. Marianne, you're the lucky one. And how much, David, how much do we have? $40. Okay. Marianne, 7930. Can you double check? By the way, I messed up my 5 numbers. Okay. Congratulations, Marianne. Okay, once again, congratulations, WHEBR, on your 100th birthday of year. And thank you everyone for joining our meeting today. And this meeting is now adjourned. 10:03.
Yeah, you missed a slide.
Yeah, this one. Oh, okay, then I missed one slide. Next meeting will be, everybody pay attention. This is very important. Next meeting will be September 15th, and then please join us. We're going to be welcoming Assembly Member Mike from 49th District. Thank you.